Alright, welcome to The Explainer. If you've been following the mining services and lithium spaces, well, you already know how absolutely crucial operational contracts are right now. Today, we're unpacking a massive piece of news coming straight out of the Australian resource sector. We've got a major ASX announcement on our hands detailing a highly significant partnership between two heavy hitters, DVP Ltd and Core Lithium. We're going to unpack the official market release, break down the big numbers, look at the timeline, and dig into the strategic rationale behind this agreement, sticking strictly to the facts from the source document, of course. So settle in as we map out exactly what this means for the BP33 Underground project.
Okay, let's dive into this. And we've really got to start with the number that is headlining this entire announcement. 274 million Australian dollars. Yep, that is the total value of the contract awarded to DVP Global to run the underground development and production activities for Core Lithium. You know, in the world of mining services, landing a contract of this size, it's a massive validator of a company's operational capacity. It just immediately establishes the sheer scale of the work to be done here and the serious capital being deployed to pull resources out of the ground at this specific site.
All right, moving into Section 1, the contract mechanics, where we'll be breaking down the deal.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that DVP hasn't just secured a quick in-and-out job. They've locked in a minimum 3-year term. And on top of that, there's a 2-year extension option built right into the agreement. But really look at that expected steady-state annual revenue projected at 120 million Australian dollars. That phrase, steady state, is the key takeaway here. It basically means that once the initial setup and mobilization phases are out of the way and the operation is humming along at normal capacity, DVP is anticipating a very consistent, highly lucrative revenue stream year over year.
And to earn that kind of revenue, the scope of works is, well, it's incredibly comprehensive. Looking directly at the official announcement, DVP is taking responsibility for surface infrastructure, the portal establishment, which, if you're not familiar, is essentially constructing the main entrance and tunneling access straight into the earth, and all associated underground mining activities. They aren't just sitting back and consulting on this, they are executing the core physical operations required to actually get this mine functioning and producing from the underground. Okay, Section 2. Inside the BP33 project, looking closely at Core Lithium's asset. So the crucial point to understand here is that BP33 is absolutely not a marginal asset. The document describes it as a large lithium ore body that sits directly at the center of the wider Finniss operation. For a mining services company like DVP, the attractiveness of an asset always comes down to two things: longevity and economics. And BP33 delivers on both. It provides a long-life production base, we're talking an estimated mine life of more than 10 years, and it's noted as a low-cost base with significant exploration upside, meaning there's a real potential to find even more resources as they dig, which, aligns perfectly with that 2-year contract extension option we just talked about.
And just to put the financial weight backing this project into perspective, the document points out that Core Lithium, the folks awarding this $274 million contract, is a highly significant entity on the ASX. They're carrying a market capitalization of approximately 1 billion Australian dollars. So that gives you a really clear sense of the massive scale of the company backing the Finniss Lithium Project and their sheer capacity to fund major underground developments like BP33.
Next up, Section 3, Project Timeline and Logistics, focusing on mobilization. Now, the timeline here is exceptionally tight and clearly highly coordinated. DVP expects to be mobilizing people and equipment in June of 2026. And what's fascinating is exactly how they are pulling this off. The document explicitly states they'll be reallocating DVP personnel directly from their Bellevue project over to Core. It's a huge strategic shifting of their internal workforce. And then immediately following that mobilization, underground mining is scheduled to commence literally just a month later, in July 2026. They are moving incredibly fast from paper to actual production.
Let's look at Section 4, Leadership Perspectives, and how the strategic alignment breaks down.
DVP's Managing Director Bill Beeman points squarely to the capability of his personnel. He states that this contract reflects the skills and depth of their first-class mining services team. Furthermore, he makes a point to note the broader economic context, mentioning they're seeing highly favorable conditions for mining services right now, and a particularly strong demand for experienced underground teams. Essentially, he's communicating that their specialized skills are highly sought after in a seller's market, and BP33 is a high-quality, large-scale addition to their growing portfolio.
And if we pivot to the other side of the table, Core Lithium's Managing Director Paul Brown perfectly mirrors that exact sentiment. He states that awarding this contract to DVP reflects the absolute strength of their technical capability and underground mining experience.
More specifically, he highlights Develop's understanding of the unique ground conditions of BP33 and their alignment with Core's productivity and delivery targets. It's a huge, clear validation from the client that Develop possesses the exact technical chops needed to de-risk and successfully execute this complex underground build.
All right, moving to Section 5, Beyond Core Lithium, a quick look at Develop's broader portfolio. Separately, this announcement advises that work is now officially underway on another major front. Develop is currently executing a recently awarded 5-year contract at OceanaGold's Waihi North project over in New Zealand. This detail is crucial because it underscores that Develop isn't just a one-trick pony. They are successfully locking in multiple long-term contracts globally across vastly different geological locations.
Finally, Section 6, Disclaimer and Final Thoughts.
Before we wrap up, please note that this explainer is strictly for informational and educational purposes. We are simply unpacking the contents of the official market release today. Nothing discussed constitutes investment advice, nor is it a recommendation to buy or sell securities in either Develop Global or Core Lithium. Please, always ensure you do your own independent research and consult with a licensed financial professional before making any investment decisions whatsoever.
With all that said, I really want to hear from you. We've seen the impressive $120 million expected annual revenue and that rapid, aggressive mobilization strategy mapped out for the BP33 Underground. So what are your thoughts on the future of the Finniss Lithium Project and this massive $274 million partnership? Do you think that aggressive timeline is actually achievable? Drop your analysis and thoughts in the comment section below. I would absolutely love to read your take on the data we've covered today. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep learning.